Hello, class. Whoops. Hello. So this is the conversation test guide. As you know, we have the conversation test coming up. So I just want to quickly explain what you need to do. First, I want to start by telling you talking a little bit about why we do the conversation tests and the chat activities. So it's mostly to motivate students to speak English. But another reason that we do the chat and the chat activities and the conversation tests is it's a good way to help you learn to be comfortable with speaking English. I know that many students have never gotten a lot of opportunities to practice just regular speaking. So this is a good chance for you to become familiar or become more comfortable with speaking English. And another reason that we do the chat activities and the conversation tests is I want to reduce your stress about speaking tests and also speaking English. And part of the way that I do that is I make the tests that are a small part of your grade. I make sure the tests are only a small part of your grade. So it's only 25 points for each test. So for the first conversation test, it's 25 points. And for the second conversation test, it's 25 points. So that way, you don't have to worry too much about your grade, okay? Now, for the test, the way it works is all students are put into private Zoom rooms, just like the chat activity. I will go to each of the private rooms and I will give the test. For the test, I will pick 2 topics from the topics that we used in class. Okay, so these aren't going to be new or surprising topics. These will be topics that you know. And then I will ask your group to pick one of the topics. Okay, and then you will talk about the topic for 4 minutes. And after you finish, I will leave. And that's the end of the test. It's very, very, very simple. Okay. Now, for grading the test, there are actually a few different categories. So for the first category, I'm going to call this first category, or CAT. For the first category, it's all about asking new questions. And new questions are questions that are about the topic, but they are not follow-up questions. Okay, so if you remember, let's quickly take a look at follow-up questions. Right, so we go back here, right? So follow-up questions can be move this. Yes, no questions. Questions that have yes or no answers, right? Or they can be questions like these, right? Why? How about you? What about you? Can you explain that? Right? So those are other follow-up questions. And they just ask these questions. Just ask for more information. Okay. Oops. So that's the difference between follow-up questions and what I'm calling new questions. These are the new questions. Okay. So let's go back to the conversation test guide. Oops. So when we look here, right? What's your favorite food? Which food do you hate? These are about the topic, which is food, but they're not the same, right? Favorite food is different from food that you hate. So if we look at the conversation, right? Student A, what's your favorite food? B, I love chocolate. How about you? A, I love chicken. Why do you love chocolate? B, it's delicious. Which food do you hate? So student B is asking a new question here. And these are important questions because you should be able to think about the topic very deeply. And you should be able to talk about topics very deeply. The next part, or the next category, oops, let's go back. The next category is asking follow-up questions. So this is a second cat, okay? So follow-up questions are about the current focus, right? So how about you? This question is connected to this question. Why do you love chocolate? This question is connected to this question. Which food do you hate? Do you like carrots? Because I hate carrots, right? I hate carrots is connected to this, and hate is connected to this question, okay? So it just shows that you should be able to continue the conversation. It also shows that you are listening and you are being a good listener. So that's why we use follow-up questions. Oops. One moment. And the next one is asking WH questions. So this is just because you can't only ask yes/no questions. If you only ask yes/no questions, you will have a bad conversation like this. Here's student A. Do you like food? B, yes. Do you hate some foods? A, yes. A, do you like chocolate? B, sometimes. Do you like chocolate? A, yes. A, do you like food? B, yes. I still like food. Okay, so that's a very boring conversation. So that's why I have this third category here. This is why we have this third category. Okay. And then the fourth category, oops, the fourth category is listening. So this is the fourth category. Okay, so listening is important because you need to give your partner a chance to ask questions. So if you remember, we talked about how many questions. We talked about how many questions it's okay to ask before letting your partner ask. Remember, 4 questions is too many. So that's where this fourth category comes in. Okay. Oops. Because if you don't listen to your partner, it's very rude and you'll have a conversation like this. What's your favorite food? B, I love chocolate. How about I love chicken? Why do you love chocolate? B, it's delicious. Which food? I hate carrots. They're disgusting. Which food do you hate? What's the strangest food you've eaten? Have you gotten sick from eating some food? Why? Do you like carrots? Okay, this is bad. Okay, because student A is just trying to get a high score and they're not listening. Okay. And then the fifth category, let me clear all this. The fifth category, this is the fifth category. And this is listening, or sorry, effort. So your grade is based on my judgment because I have to listen to a lot of conversations, but I can also tell which students are trying in the chat activities and which are not. Okay, So for the effort category, this is my judgment. I can see which students are trying and which are not trying. So you can record the conversation with your smartphone, but you can't, but I won't be able to know exactly what everyone said because I can't share the videos and share the audio with you, okay? Because you have other students in there. So also, I won't be able to remember every conversation. So I won't be able to explain your score perfectly. I can only tell you what I was thinking, what I think your grade should be based on your score, okay? Also, there's a few differences on the test. You can't wear a mask because this test should feel like a real conversation. Also, if your camera or microphone doesn't work, you will lose effort points. Remember, you can always use a smartphone and some earbuds with a microphone to do the test. So you must be ready or you will lose effort points. Okay. And yes, I just said that here. You can use your smartphone for the conversation test. So be ready for the test. That's part of your effort grade. And that's it. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, you can always email me and ask me questions about the conversation test. So I'll see you later and have a good day.